on the back. Hmm?
Sit down. Sorry. Go ahead.
Continue.
On the back of the house, we have a patio, a brick patio. It's been there since we bought the place. And we're not looking to extend it or anything. All we're looking to do is put a cover over. The back of the house faces directly east.
Okay.
So we're looking right into the sun every morning. Our neighbor had a rather large tree. He used to give us a couple hours of shade in the morning, but he lost that tree last fall.
Okay.
It came down, so now we got nothing. So it's strictly sunlight all day long, or if there's rain, we're kind of out of it. Our kids, our family are all from the Buffalo area, so when they come out, they usually come out as a group. That's 10, 12 people. You take 10, 12 people and put them in the house. It's the sun porch is right there, but it only seats about 7 people. So it gets a little crowded in there and that. So all we want to do is get some shade, get some relief, you know, something we would put over there. So we don't get put out by the weather in the backyard.
Now, is this your full-time resident?
Pardon?
Is this your full-time residence or just you live, yeah, year round?
I'm sorry, I'm a little hard of hearing.
It's okay, I got mine and I'm still saying,
You guys are just putting a roof section, there's no other improvements on the side, there's no, not
Just the roof.
blocking anything.
And
Just over a patio.
the roof doesn't extend over the existing patio.
Right.
The existing patio is stone, wood
Brick.
deck. Okay, so it technically is a
It's
building.
brick and then it's got paving underneath it.
So the variance is for lot line setback.
And
Lot coverage, are we in that or no?
no, not, they're only at 10% coverage. The figures are on the drawing, but
The
the
setback to the lake.
setback to the lake, correct.
We're looking at 17, it's supposed to be 20.
Right.
Well, actually, it's the average of the 2 adjacent properties. Because they're already, the setback is already where it needs to be at 20 feet. But when you add the 2 adjacent properties and average it, the line extends to the front of the house. Or to the exact part of the house. So if you look at,
just to the house, not to the.
Right. So
not to
the
the
colors only come over to the width of the house. It's not going to the full width of the patio.
Okay,
so I put the adjacent properties average or numbers and then the average. And if you measure to their eve on this side of the house, that's exactly where, so they're at the max, is what I'm saying.
Very
With the house, they're at the max
Right.
distance that they can go.
Right, and this is gonna be a 15,
16, I think he said it was 16. I talked to the contractor mostly about, he didn't have any plans yet, because he didn't want to dive into
Yeah.
spending the time
Right.
having it drawn up if it wasn't gonna be approved. So
Pictures of the patio if you'd like to see it. No, don't need it?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not technically a building because it's stone.
and how long have you guys owned the house?
14.
14 years? Okay, so I'm not a voting member, I'm just the code enforcer.
Well, fine.
They asked questions. I was curious, and because I looked through the property file in general and
16 feet.
I didn't see any other variances or
Yeah,
variances
so that's
requests.
there. That's what the total is to the
I
house.
think there might be one on the garage. I'm not sure. Way in the back.
Well, here's that.
So what kind of awning is it? Is what holds the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, this side here.
Comes out.
There's gonna be posts.
Yeah.
Is that what you're
But
asking?
they'll be into the patio itself.
Well, this is
So
like,
not beyond the patio.
this is
so I am the
I'm sure when this got
Oh,
put in,
okay.
this wasn't updated.
No,
This just got updated, what, last year, 2 years ago?
EC does it every 5 years.
Yeah, when they updated this, it got raised, I know that. So that's just probably the new rule.
Joe, there's no rulings down there against the hindering the view, correct? If we put a roof on here, maybe the people on either side are not gonna be able to have the view. I know in some of the tracks down there, they have that. But this is
That's
not,
that's why the rule is, it's 20 feet and or the average adjacent distances. From adjacent properties.
Whichever is greater.
Yeah, whichever is greater, and that prevents like someone who's sticking out really far from
Sure.
building any further.
Mhm.
That takes care of the vision aspect of it.
okay,
So the variance we're looking at 16-ish feet out of 36.
Yes.
and why, we've got a question here about having to have a wetland permit?
Yes.
Is that something?
That's it's the wetland permit is something new that the DEC is regulating. And I put that on the contractor. So
Okay,
I couldn't see that it was in a wetland, but the rule did change. So like Encore and anything I have access to doesn't show it yet. And usually it's just a quick call to the DEC and they'll tell you if you need one or not. That's not gonna hinder if they can do it or not. You know what I
okay,
mean?
so we don't have to get into that part of
No.
it. We just have to say, okay, yes, they can, or
Yeah.
no, they
Yeah.
can't, okay.
What about this floodplain thing? Now that it's updated.
So this is, no, the floodplain maps haven't been updated.
Okay.
Oh, no,
This
they're in the
bill-
process, of updating them, but the maps won't be released till 27.
There's no way it's gonna go down. It's only gonna come up from this.
I have the proposed floodplain and it's the exact same
Okay.
in this spot particularly.
Alright.
So if you guys will need a floodplain permit before you get the building permit, you know, if it gets approved. But again, when I talked to the contractor about it, I didn't want to dive deep into the floodplain
Mhm.
permit side of it because we got to make sure we can get past this point first. That was just another piece of information I put in there.
Okay, do we feel confident enough so that if we okay this, when this new wetland permit comes out, they're not going to have to disregard what they want to do? Maybe not be able-
Yes.
Can they
Yeah.
rule against us if
No.
this new map comes out?
No.
We don't have the
What-
information at the time. What could we do?
Yeah, so I just took a training on this because of the uncertainty with all that, and that was one of the questions in the training. You know,
Okay.
it was people that are building now,
Sure.
because our town chose not to adopt the preliminary maps, we're working on the 1984 map still. Until the new ones get released.
I don't want to go forward, then have to turn around and go back.
What we're trying to do is get some shade. I mean,
Right.
a sun porch is so hot from the sun. I mean, you get blinds in there, but it still comes through. It makes it unusable.
Have you guys considered like a retractable awning or,
We did, but then we wanted it to be permanent.
you know?
That's what we wanted.
Okay.
We talked about it.
There's no side setback issues. We're above 10 feet on north and south.
That depends because your contractor said that you were only gonna cover the patio, so if you only covered the patio, you'd be 10 feet from the property line, but if you make it perpendicular or parallel to the house, then you'll be too close to the property line, so I guess that would be a question.
Yeah, we talked to him about it and we explained to him we want to go through the patio itself.
Oh, okay,
There's about a foot, maybe a foot and a half from the edge of the patio.
to the edge of the
That's
house.
where the post will be in,
Okay,
about a foot to a foot and a half inside of the edge.
okay,
And there'll be four of them, that's all across the front.
Okay.
And that'll be a,
So as the application is at the moment, it's not really very specific about the measured width of the proposed roof.
I thought Matt took care of that, no?
Well,
He's just got it blocked out to the whole side of the house.
yeah, he explained it to me that it was just gonna be within the confines of the patio. And if you look on that side where it's like 7 feet to the property line.
Yeah, it looks like you can see it right underneath.
The patio sticks out. On the
Patio's
south side,
Yes.
further than the house.
He's got it.
But not the other side.
Right. Where it's going.
We're not covering.
So what-
Right.
Okay, which one are you guys on?
So looking at, well, any of them right now, we don't have anything written down that
Okay.
dictates the width of this parallel to the rear house.
Right, that's why they're not asking for the side lot line.
Okay.
They're asking for front.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna have to make sure
That
that,
that doesn't go beyond,
correct,
close within 10 feet to the line.
yes.
Okay.
So when I talked to the contractor, and he was certain that it wasn't gonna go over 10 feet.
Okay.
Edge of our house, I don't know if you're talking about
The side.
what side?
This is the side.
We're looking at the side of
The
the
sides.
It would be the north side. of the house.
Like I said,
The side that's opposite of what looks like the stairs.
Yeah.
Here,
See the picture where it
near the
shows?
stairs, we're talking here.
Right. Our concern is just that the roof doesn't come any closer than 10 feet to this line because the house is already only 8.5 feet off of it.
Do you see where he has it blued? That's the perfect blueprint of your house. What needs to be in. To the
Even
patio.
All right, well, the house here, is this the house here?
Yes.
Okay. This is going to the end of the house. This one is gonna be, the patio extends 6 feet further, which we are not covering.
Okay.
Right.
And there's a fence somewhere.
Okay.
From under, oh yeah, because here's the generator. Okay. This side, there'll be 6 feet that won't be covered. We're only going from end of the house to end of the house.
So we should
Okay.
make a note on the application that we are looking at a variance on the east property line only.
East property.
Okay. To the right.
Right?
Yeah.
Eastern
Yeah,
most line, it's not
It's Perry's the
the lakeside. We're not discussing the north or south line, then, because there is no variance asked for.
Correct.
It's just one to the lake.
Yes.
Okay.
Just, it's not written where specifically, I want to make sure we talk about.
Doesn't mean this side, it's.
Okay, so we have two parts to the process here. We vote twice. The first one is to accept the application. That's just after we've discussed if we feel there's enough information to approve or deny it. And if the application is accepted, then we vote on the actual variance. At this point, do we have any more questions or discussion on the application?
I don't know.
We're looking for a 16 out of 36-foot variance on the east property line.
Yes, yeah, also there's.
Yeah,
This is getting measured.
This back of the house faces east. The side of the house. This is what? If the water is
West side, the west side's the water side.
on the water side.
I'm looking at the east.
East.
Look at this.
Wait a minute, my back. We're on this side of the road.
So the lake, it would be the lakeside.
Yeah.
A lakeside.
Gonna say, did you guys just move this?
That's a direction. West, south, east, west.
Don't feel bad, you're not the only one.
Does anyone move to accept the application?
I'll make a motion that we accept that application.
Do we have a second?
Well, I was second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the application is accepted.
Are you ready to vote? Jesse, you want to go first?
Sure. Whether the benefit can be achieved by other means feasible to the applicant. So if the benefit is sunshade, it could be achieved with some sort of rollout or extendable awning.
We had one of those at our other, house, and we did not like it. That's the reason we chose.
Any undesirable change in the neighborhood character or to nearby properties, I don't believe there will be. Whether the request is substantial, there's already a patio there and it doesn't, in these photos at least, seem to impede neighboring view. So I don't believe so. Whether the request will have adverse physical or environmental effects, I don't believe it will. It's already a patio that's paved, so there's already not much ground penetration from water happening. It's mostly running off to begin with, so that's not going to change. And whether the alleged difficulty is self-created, well, asking for variance in the first place is definitely self-created. Given the majority of these, though, I vote to approve the variance.
Linda?
Okay, whether the benefit can be achieved by other means feasible to the applicant. There probably is, but I think under the, what you have presented to us makes sense to me. Whether an undesirable change in neighborhood character or to nearby properties, I don't think so. If the request is substantial, and whether the request will have adverse physical or environmental effects. The only environmental thing that I can see is that's gonna give you shade. That's all I would.
That's what we want.
And whether the alleged difficulty is self-created, yes, we all have a tendency to do that, but I don't see that as a problem, but I'm in favor of the variance.
Eric?
Whether benefit can be achieved by other means feasible to applicant. I would say yes, it could be done with a sunshade or something like that. I understand why you guys put the roof, you know, undesirable change in neighborhood or character. I don't think it would do anything to the neighborhood. Whether it's the request is substantial, I don't believe it is. Whether the request adverse conditions or environmental effects, I don't believe so. And whether alleged difficulty is self-created, I would say yes, because you're here asking us to change the law. So I would say yes to the variance.
Whether the benefit can be achieved by other means feasible to the applicant. Yes, the applicant could install a retractable awning. Undesirable change in the neighborhood character to nearby properties, I don't think so. Is the request substantial? I don't think so. Will the request have adverse physical or environmental impacts? No. Is the difficulty of the variance self-created? Yes, it is improvement for personal comfort rather than a hardship, but overall, I'm in favor of the project.
Thank you. Okay. So you will get a letter from the town. I guess on that. Yeah.
I'll send you, it's just an approval letter.
And just notification of the approval of variance.
Contractor said he was coming here tomorrow to talk to somebody.
To me,
Well,
probably.
to you?
Yep.
He's got another set of papers.
Okay. Okay.
You know what they're for, right?
Yes. Yes, okay. Yep, and I'll inform him that the variance was approved and we can move forward.
Okay.
That's good.
We have one more public hearing. You're welcome to stick around. If not, you're welcome to leave.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it a lot.
Yes.
Oh, good luck to you.
You think it's something good for us?
We got one more here. One more tonight.
Thank you again.
Let's hope we have enough sunshine so that you can.
Last year was there.
Yes.
It was really hot and we were very limited to what we could do in the backyard. You know, and there's him, he likes to sit out there.
Sure.
Yeah, and it gets too hot, you can't take it.
Thank you
All
again.
right, thank you all very much.
Be careful
Good night.
back home.
Yeah.
Watch
Yeah.
the deer.
Oh, yeah, we know.
Back, what's this in?
Thank you for your.
Okay, all right. Have a great night.
Yeah,
Firing squad.
and I gotta officially recuse myself too, right?
On the record.
So on the record, I am going to recuse myself from voting on this variance application for 9130 Lukenbach Hill
So,
Yeah, so a little bit of the backstory. Was it January 2020? I came to the board and applied for a variance. Put up a barn next to my private road there. I was approved for the variance to go up to 12 inches away from the property. That was my variance.
so this is,
So,
real quick,
Okay.
so the town is supposed to classify private roads as private roads. So this road is technically classified as a private road through the county,
yeah,
but our township has not recognized it as a private. Okay,
Okay,
It's-
saying that, so what,
so
is
it's,
there a difference for a private road versus a county road? Or town road?
yes, so a private road is defined as 3 or less properties. So it's access to 3 or less properties. So
Okay,
they're right at 3. There's 3 houses on the property. And there's a
4. It's 4 or less for that one. For the private drive.
Oh, yeah,
In the
okay.
book. It's
There's
got,
4 on there
it
though?
says, yeah. There's
Okay,
4.
there's 4.
Yeah.
And there's an easement to 3 of them. The 4th house on the property has right to access, even though the easement stops at the end of Deb's property.
Right. So there's a rental at the very dead end.
Yeah.
That's the one that just like
okay,
easement.
Okay, you go ahead. I was
Yeah,
just.
so but anyways, so we got a variance approved to go up to 12 inch, so it's 49 and a half feet long, the private driveway is. I put a map in there, you know,
okay.
so we look at it. Pretty up and big.
And the variance, the 1 foot one was to the property line?
Yeah, it was to the property line, which is the 49 and a half foot right of way. When you look at it from people's. Yeah, I put an actual full size map. So you actually see it, because it's not very much
This is
talking about.
the preliminary map.
Yeah, this is a preliminary map that I had to take to the planning board.
Okay, forgive me for looking vague, because I wasn't here. Now I have to see that I was not here for this.
Yeah.
That's why it's not bringing any, okay,
Right,
I'm
right.
sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Yep. So I was approved to go up to 12 inches away from the property. Well, my neighbor Deborah, who owns this property down here towards the end, and then she owns the actual whole private road all the way out to Lukenbach. She's considering selling her house soon, maybe this year, next year. So upon all this going through, we have found out that the barn is over the property line.
Okay.
Yeah, so the contractor, I got the certificate of compliance for the barn and everything. But the barn is not complete.
Previous,
So previous code enforcement officer gave me the certificate is in there.
And you didn't know.
And I assumed that everything was good, like he was out there checking holes and he came out and dig, like the
Yeah.
contract, I figured the contractors and everything was good, like I didn't.
Right.
I just assumed everything was good.
Let the guy do the job and pay him for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I figured it was good. Well, now, and then along with the Encore update, it also shows the property line going through part of the barn. So it is 100%. It's definitely over the line.
Huh.
It's supposed to be 12 inches away from it, but it is not. So I went to the planning board to for a subdivision of land, because Deborah Pecora, who owns it now, her original thought was I'll just sign off on it and you can just keep it there. I said, well, you can't do that because you can't legally have a barn on somebody else's property. Even when you sell it, I can't do it that way. So I said, we're gonna have to go some other way. So I went to the planning board to subdivide a small piece of land right here where the barn is, the purchase off of Deb.
it's 0.54 acres. Or
It's 0.20
oh, point,
acres is what I'm actually purchasing.
So
Right in front of
just
my,
less than a quarter.
right. So you can see it right in front of my house where, like the dotted line,
That's where it was.
right, that's where it presently is. So it's 49 and a half foot all the way down.
Yep.
See how it goes?
How
This one
wide
here,
is
we're
the
talking.
right of?
Right here. So the 49 and a half foot, right, this is my property.
This is yours,
This is the
okay.
line now, the dotted line.
Okay,
The red line is what I'm proposing to purchase. Just from that dotted line to the red line in front of my house.
And it's
So it ends up being
0.20
0.20
between
acres.
there.
And so I'm attempting to purchase this, okay? In this easement that is down through there. They allowed one of the previous owners, Tom Gendrew, to drill a well on the easement. Perfect. So this is what this is here.
There's
That-
more,
that is
believe me,
a-
there's more than what he's talking
Yeah,
about.
there's a deeded right of way for me to have this well in that right of way with the county from 1983. So it's on someone, so my well is on someone else's property, but it's deeded for me to use.
Yep.
Okay,
Good grief.
and it's right next to the private road. So everything was permitted back in 1983. That was from the county, that thing there. So now in the mix of trying to purchase this property, if we move this said property line, the well will be on my property, but it doesn't give us the legal requirement for the well being, what was it, 20 foot from a private road?
20 foot, yes.
To be 20 feet away from the property line.
So you're looking for variance.
So we're looking for a variance for the well to be, I mean,
On your own property.
on my own property, but it'll be closer than the 20 feet. But until Jeremy does the actual official a map, it's gonna be about 11 feet is what it's gonna be, right?
So
And it's supposed to be 20 feet away.
chicken or egg. I talked with Ted. Ted said, we can't subdivide it until we have a variance. But when you,
Well,
right,
well.
but when you come here to the zoning board, we can't give him a variance for property he doesn't own.
right.
Right.
Okay, so, but
So I mean,
it's.
My gosh.
So listen, in talking with Ted agreed that we can put stipulations on a variance.
Not in effect until X qualification.
Correct.
right. So I have to purchase the property and planning board. Well, the planning board has to approve it first, and then I have to enter into a contract with them to buy it.
So we're gonna put, if it gets voted yes, if it gets voted yes, we'll put in the comments on the final form contingent to property purchase, and planning board approval.
So,
So you can see right in front of my place,
yeah,
this little dot right here,
that's the well.
that's the well.
Yep.
And the property line is the dotted. That's
So right now,
Who'd you buy this from?
the property.
Yes.
It's Gene Bigadorn. He's the French guy over on the Elms Hill Road.
Okay, it wasn't Preston's, because Preston's,
Yeah, Preston's used to own it.
this is
Yeah,
same.
so this was Tom Jen.
All right, so this, okay.
Yeah, so Tom sold it to the French gentleman there, John.
Oh.
And I purchased it. Well, right now it's sitting on Deb's land.
if the barn had been built where it's supposed to be, there wouldn't be any problems.
Correct.
With the exception of, well, right, there wouldn't be any
There wouldn't
problem.
be any problems. The well was there before we had zoning. He had, whoever owned the property had permission on the easement to be using it, and everything's fine, if the barn had been built where it was.
Correct. I assumed it was there.
Moving a property line around something that's already okay, because it happened before zoning, require variance. I see how it's
Because
too close to the line, that's correct, but that,
it requires a variance because it's,
Because the line is moving.
we're changing it.
So on grandfathers it because the line is changing it.
Correct. It's like when if you're remodeling a house and it goes over a certain percentage, then you have to make the whole house up to code. And that's kind of what the planning board agreed on also. But
This will actually put my entire property back in the more compliance. At the
no,
end.
it will.
You know what I mean?
Agree with that.
Right now, it's stuck.
It's weird that the
I'll
town
go
can
look at
require a variance for somebody on something you have literally.
right,
Yeah, that was the one that had the county seal on it.
the other,
There's a deed log from
Even
1983.
Gary Dunn did it, huh?
the other thing about this too is, he's gonna have, you're gonna have deed modifications, right?
Yes, so it'll just, the right of way has to stay there, the 49.5 foot right of way.
Yep.
Nothing can be built in there, I would
Okay.
remember. But I have to give everybody else legal access to use it if they
To
have.
that strip,
It's like if they had some crazy truck they had to come down through there.
right?
That was more than the 10 foot of driveway.
Yep.
They would be able to
This
Yep.
little
use it.
piece that,
Yeah. So like
And
that,
it's such a steep grade, like these guys know, because it drops off probably
Yeah.
5 foot from the road to where my garage is. Nobody could ever use it for anything. Well, legally, the lines have to go straight up.
If somebody wanted to bring in a 30-foot trailer, they technically could put gravel there and make the road that wide.
Right,
Right.
yeah, I mean, it's,
Impractical, but on paper.
Right,
that's how it
right.
is.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, so
Well,
it'll be
that's what-
like on Deborah Pecora's, hers has a right of way stipulation on her deed, and now Eric's will also
Yes.
have a right of way stipulation on his deed.
but the driveway isn't any part of this land that I'm trying to buy. So I'm purchasing up to where the telephone poles run down through the private road, so it doesn't even touch the driveway.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, so if I legally purchased any part of the driveway, then I would have had to even done even more work and lawyers and everything else.
How did you find this out?
Because Deb was getting ready to sell her house and we started looking at stuff and then there was an Encore update and that, so before it showed the garage on there with the property line. And then when the Encore did the update, the line goes through like part of the eave, almost into like where the man door is.
Surveyor came
property.
through and tried to
So it's
mistake the building.
definitely over the line.
Okay, update me. Encore is something on the computer?
Yeah.
Yes, it's the GIS system that shows property lines and.
County's tax map.
Yeah, so those pictures that they had on it, those were printed off of Encore. The ones that they had.
Eric, I'm sorry that you. Listen to you.
So
Good grief.
and it's gonna, so I'd like to purchase property, but this is gonna cost me about 12 grand by 0.20 acres because of the barn is over.
Yeah.
So now I gotta come up with another 12 grand to fix all of this, if it's even approved.
Yeah.
And I already paid somebody to do this for me once. Cause I didn't put the barn up myself, I paid a contractor.
Wow.
I didn't. remember his tape.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a tape measure ever brought. They just don't barn.
So what we have to do,
So the variance
What do we-
is for
It's just for the
the
well.
well
well.
being
okay,
how
And it's-
far from the new proposed line?
It's basically, it's like 11 foot.
And it's supposed to be 20.
20. But like, it's not the 11 foot isn't a definitive exact number because Jeremy hasn't come down, and put all the stakes in and everything, right? But it's
So we're
should be
looking
right
for
around
45%.
approximately a 50% variance on a pre-existing well,
Correct.
yeah, okay.
just to try to quantify what we're doing.
Yep. That's probably the simplest way to say it.
All right. Boy,
Yeah, those blue lines that go down through there, that's the actual hard packed driveway. That's where it is.
I will say that I'm glad this is Eric and not someone else. Because he understands, he understands it and comprehends what has to happen and, someone else may not.
But I still have to go in front of the planning board to see if they'll approve the subdivision even purchase. the
Yeah.
property.
A lot bigger.
I know. Or the other is to move the entire barn, which I obviously don't have to do that, but.
Well, that. Yeah,
Couldn't say.
that would be more of a hardship.
Right. Wait, we're
Yeah.
we
But
can,
then my well is back on my property, not on somebody else's. You know what I mean?
that's good. Yeah, we have a hard time getting somebody to move a cottage.
I think it's kind of strange that they even approved somebody to drill a well on someone else's property, even back in 1983. I don't know.
But they just drilled the well, so that's.
Maybe
what
they-
the truck was parked, it was
Yeah.
convenient, they just didn't want to
Probably.
use in the driveway.
Yeah,
That's
there's no
what-
way you
the
get a
rig was
well
in the back
truck
of the truck.
anywhere into my
Yeah.
house other than right in the truck.
Nobody's
Just the way-
There's no talking about.
You
that.
know-
the way
Just
my
my
property
house.
runs.
We moved out here in 1968, so this is going back even further. We had to have a well drilled because what was there wasn't sufficient to fill the whole system.
Right.
Never had to get anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, wells are now currently regulated by the DEC. They're not regulated by building departments.
And then if this was,
What's that?
if this was up near Lukenbach, I'd have to be 50 foot, right?
Yeah.
Away from it
Yeah.
with the well?
Yeah, because of
If it was
salt.
out on-
Oh, yeah,
The contamination, like my well to my house
yeah.
right now would never pass with current codes because it's
Yeah, it's in the front yard. there.
yeah, it's like 15 feet from the edge of the road.
That's what mine was.
Oh,
But now
It is
it's,
close
now
to
it's,
that.
it's 50 foot from any main road or county road or anything.
Yeah, and that's mainly because of the chemicals that are used to
oh, yeah,
during
and
winter.
by all means, I'm all for.
Yeah.
Like
having
this well's been
further-
there since '83, and it's been working totally fine. I had it tested when I moved in too, so. I mean-
I'm a neighbor. I approve of the variance.
I think this is a two-man Manhattan.
I think I understand what's happening. Any further questions?
I don't have any.
We have a move to accept the application.
I'll make the motion, we accept the application.
Second.
A second.
All in favor?
I,
Okay, Jesse.
Whether benefit can be achieved by other means feasible to the applicant. The benefit is, I suppose, to keep the well. You could drill a new well, I guess, so I guess that's possible. Undesirable change in neighborhood character or to nearby properties, no, definitely not. The well's already been there, nothing's physically changing. Whether the request is substantial, no. Whether the request will have adverse physical or environmental effects, if that's happening, it already is. The well's been there since we say 2003.
Mhm.
And whether the alleged difficulty is self-created, what this one actually isn't.
This is I was gonna say, this will be a very rare one.
I had actually to pay somebody to.
Yeah.
Building not compliant.
It's very.
Brenda.
it's someone to give you gray hair, right?
That's the whole mix of things. I'm like, now I'm on the board. Property's not compliant. It's not, I look terrible. It's a whole situation.
Okay, whether the benefit can be achieved by other means feasible to the applicant. I don't think so. Undesirable change in neighborhood character or to nearby properties, no. Is the request substantial? No. And whether the request will have adverse physical or environmental effects? No, and whether it's self-created, this one certainly is not. This was, no, I'm in favor of the variance.
All right, Ian.
And I think there should be, I gotta add this, I think there should be something to reimburse you for things that were done that they shouldn't have been.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Whether the benefit can be achieved by other means feasible to the applicant, not really. It is necessary to be compliant. Undesirable change in the neighborhood character to nearby properties, no, it's been that way. Is the request substantial? No. Will the request have adverse physical or environmental impacts? No. Is the difficulty of the variance self-created? No, because the well was there when purchased and the barn built without knowing it was over the line. I'm in favor of the variance contingent to property purchase and planning board approval.
Good stipulation added. I would like to amend my voting to also include. The property line actually has to be moved.
The contingent.
Bought,
Yeah, I agree. That should-
Okay.
that should definitely be
Yeah.
in there.
because we can't give a variance for property you don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on the
Yeah.
comments of this decision letter.
When I went to the planning board, I already knew what it was gonna be, but.
Right.
So.
Eric, Ted does have a plan to meet someone tomorrow. Cause
Okay.
it's to be a week before, so maybe you could,
Yeah, I can-
Call or
I can
email 'em.
Jump in there or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure you have the decision letter tomorrow.
Okay. Right.
Because I have.
That's
a
usually
the
good.
decision
5
letter.
o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Yeah, if it's like 5 to 7.
Right, so I'll email when I get home, just so he has it, in case he looks at it tonight or whatever.
Yeah, you probably can just show up and ask him too, if you don't get an answer by email, but he's usually good about answering emails, so.
Yeah, Jeremy just called me yesterday and asked me how everything was going. Cause he wants to do the final map.
Right.
I asked him how the heck
Of the road.
Well, now.
Yeah, basically for the purchase of it. Cause like this is just a preliminary one, then he's gotta come back out and put all the stakes in.
Thank you for calling and reminding me, because we couldn't have done anything tonight.
Yeah, I assumed this was all.
So I'm glad,
We would have been able to do the one, but not.
It was put up. in
this.
2020.
yeah. No, his is overdue.
Well, Encore,
Yeah, so between lawyers' fees and
Yeah,
that paid,
I like it.
it's gonna be just under 12 grand for me to buy, not even a half an acre of land.
Well, if it's anything, Canadice is worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth
100%.
it.
And I mean, but if I had to move the barn, it would cost me more than 10 to 12 grand anyways.
Gosh, Eric,
You know what I mean?
this is a bad a bad dream.
Oh.
It just,
Yeah.
kind of like dominoes.
Yeah.
This happened, because that happened, because that.
Why can't that
It could have
contract?
been stopped.
Yeah, some,
Responsible for
I
something.
know.
It could have been
I mean,
stopped
there's,
with my department.
there was all kinds of people out there checking holes and lot lines and all kinds of other stuff and it never got caught until right now, 6 years
I
later.
don't think he got to a point where he didn't.
So, when a lot of people complain about having to get an as-built survey, it costs you $800. And now look,
So the only thing
$800 would have saved him $1,200 in the long run.
Right, because it wouldn't have passed the as-built survey.
12 grand.
Contract still would have
But
been.
the only thing he dinged me on for the final inspection when he came down and did everything was they didn't have enough structural bolts in the header.
Yeah.
So they came back and put structural bolts in and then he approved it.
struggle in what?
In the headers at the top, like above the doors and stuff, they had it nailed through, but he wanted header bolts, structural bolts and hardened steel. Is what he wanted.
Of all
Just like the ledge locks or timber locks, that's what he wanted.
even things.
That's what he wanted
Come up
every,
with, and
on
then
every post he wanted.
Bolts aren't designed.
I mean, that's the second one we've had to deal with, but not having that.
So that's what he wanted.
so it is a law now that we want people to show us surveys
It's not a law, but it is a demand.
from our department, or from from you.
Yeah, from
Thank
my
you.
department, I can demand it for any reason.
Thank
I
you.
don't, I can
Just ask for it.
just ask for it. I can demand it without giving
Right.
permits or anything.
Okay, but
So-
so far, it's not a requirement within our laws.
Correct.
They could say no. There's not much the town can do. Except
Well,
not
I can-
issue a CFC.
Right, I could not
True.
issue a CFC,
Right.
Yeah.
and then they would have to fight that either here
Right.
or in court.
Yeah, right where I park all my tractors and my equipment trailer and everything else for the truck with the business. It's all on Deb's property and she allows me to use it because I take care of the driveway for her. I plow the whole driveway for her. I take care of all the potholes there. But really, I'm using her property and she's paying the taxes. You know what I mean? So I'd rather just buy the whole piece, but I'm using it anyways, you know what I mean? So it gets it off of her, but.
We want to vote on the minutes now?
Yeah, I'm reading through them. These are
Do I go back over?
Yes.
these are special.
I'm sorry I missed this one.
No, you're not.
Okay, you got me, Steph.
Just an update for the board while you guys are reading. They did take the fence down and move it.
Good.
Yeah, and then the criminal charges were dropped on condition they moved it, so. Before it was the day of the court date, they sent me a photo of it moved and tried to get me approved for another spot on the property where with no measurements or anything, so.
Yeah.
That was dangerous.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
You don't realize how bad it is till you actually are now, like, I kind of got used to it being super bad. And then I've been, there's a couple properties down there getting worked on, so I'm constantly going in and out of there now. And
Sure.
it's like, I just
Yeah,
couldn't
it's a
believe
big
how bad
difference.
it was.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, when Mark
Yeah.
said,
Ambulance
he tried to come out of there with the ambulance, that's,
You couldn't even get out of there.
Or somebody with a snowplow in front.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, that one guy said he pulled out of there with a snowplow and his plow was all the way across the center line before you can figure out the fence.
Yeah.
And the whole business, I couldn't understand from wanting a quiet place.
Right. Being
Westlake
inspired,
Road.
right.
It's the most heavily traveled road in all of
Yes.
for probably 7 months a year.
Yeah.
Because of all the leaves in the fall too, everybody drives all the way down Westlake to go towards Naples to take all the pictures and everything. Everybody's down.
Well, even now, there's the doings at Miller's.
Yeah.
Muller's place,
Yeah, they're adding a lot of stuff.
Friday. They've got those walks and everything, and
Yeah.
there's not a time anymore where it's not a busy road.
Yeah.
I moved
Then you got all
minutes.
I will second it.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Yeah, we have a-
Somebody want a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Okay. I just saw another thing today.
The red one,
Yeah, they're right
On the red one?
yeah.